how do you heal broken trust?
Okay.
Hear this, Dr. from a previous relationship and you carrying it over. So because that last person did it,
for sure,
they're still dealing with the unresolved closure.
Remember we talked about trauma. So we have a sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is flight, fight, freeze. We can get this later, fawn, where you people please, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're anxious, that sympathetic nervous system says, don't get hurt. All right, don't get hurt. Remember how you felt last time, and sometimes it's subconscious. It just happens immediately.
Yes.
Right? And then you're saying, all right, well, let me do something to make myself feel better. All right? And so what a lot of people do, you're talking about sleuthing. Let me look through the phone to see if what I think I'm going to see is going to be there. Right? And so if nothing's there, for some people, that calms them down.
Right.
For some people, it heightens their anxiety.
If nothing is there,
what if she's hiding? Maybe there's another phone. Maybe he knew I was gonna check.
Right.
Maybe he's looking at the cameras and knows I go through the phone and let me check something else. So if we're not healed, that nervous system is trying to protect us. That's all it's trying to do, right?
Yeah.
The way to heal from that is to be just open and honest, right? And then talk about what you need to feel relaxed. So couples have been through infidelity. That could be around money. That could be around other people. The first phase is transparency. All right. Let's sit and talk about how much transparency we're going to have so that you're not traumatized thinking about where I am. If I'm out of town, let's talk about what transparency looks like. And that might look like call me, FaceTime. All right. And with couples, they might FaceTime 4 or 5 times. I know I call you the first time, but she might have been in the bathroom, right? Have you ever been traumatized? And we're talking about women, but it's men that go nuts, right? Go crazy, right? You know, you would have known I was going to call. I told you I was going to call. And then you call back at 11 o'clock and they're asleep. I'm like, all right, just walk around the room for me. Like, oh my goodness, walking around the room. Call back at 12, all right? Maybe they were coming later. Maybe you knew I was going to do this.
Right.
There comes a point where they no longer need to do that because they're able to see that what they think is happening is not, and then their nervous system calms down. Couples don't talk about that.
Yeah.
They just get into this debate of, you don't need to go through my phone. You should just trust me. Or that's an invasion of privacy. Or my phone has really confidential information in it. You're looking at stuff you don't need to see, business-wise, church-wise, family-wise, friends-wise. But if they're able to say, hey, let's have a small period to where we're able to be real with where we are. Radical acceptance. You know why I don't trust you, right?
Yeah.
And you know I'm traumatized. I don't want to feel this way. Who wants to call someone 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night? And you're not insecure that makes you feel. Let's talk about what I need and how long we need to do this so that we can reestablish trust so that when I think about what you're doing, I automatically think the best.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I want to ask you, what would you say is the difference between being alone and being lonely?
Ooh, okay. So there's this research. Dr. McDonald is his name. I can't remember his first name, and he talked about happy single people, which is never talked about, right? And so he said there's 4 categories. There's happily married, there's unhappily married, there's happily single, and there's unhappily single. What no one ever talks about is a large group of people who are happily single. Right? And what he found when he looked at those people is that they had a robust set of friends to hang out with. So while they were technically and legally single, they didn't feel lonely.
Yeah.
Right, we see this with a lot of women. They travel out the country together.
Yeah.
They have a prayer group in the morning. They're part of black girls who cycle. Right. They're in an entrepreneurship group. Right. Yeah. They have a number of friends that have deep, intimate conversations that come over the house. So they're not lonely. Anytime they want companionship, they have it. Even if they want masculine energy, they know where to go to get attention from me. And if the right one they'll go on a date. They may not want to get married. It may not lead to marriage, but they get everything that they need, right? Mm-hmm. So they're not lonely. They live by themselves because they have that intimacy, right?
No,
so that's the difference between being alone and lonely. And even in marriages, I give men, and someone came to me and they said, how much fun do you have? I said, I have a lot of fun. They said, what do you do? I said, I watch the game. I read books. I do my little hobbies. They said, is that fun or relaxing? I said, damn, I
Wow.
just relax.
Yeah.
Fun is actually going to the game.
Right.
Fun is me actually going ATVing or skeet shooting or something I
Right.
like to do that
Right.
my wife would never do.
Right.
Right? And so in marriages, I encourage a lot of men, you need to go out and have fun, not only with your wife, but for yourself, because a large part of men's happiness is having fun.
Yes.
And if you just feel like you slogging through the marriage, it's a ball and chain, I'm just doing it, you're going to be very unhappy, and it's going to show its head sooner or later.
I think the church messed up a whole lot of people by really not giving complete breath to be not unequally yoked. That we took from it that whoever I'm with got to make the money I make, have the same degree that I make. What does that really mean? Unequally yoked.
What we know in the science, which follows the word, is opposites attract. When you look at most couples, they're more different than alike. That's across the board with almost every race, right?
Yeah.
And so those differences make it actually entertaining that you see the world completely different from me. You have different hobbies, right? But what we're really looking for is really a harmony, or like a band. You may play the drums and I play the cymbals, or someone plays the saxophone, and we're different, but when we play, it harmonizes.
Yeah.
What couples are looking for is harmony, not complete clones of one another. How do we blend? How do we make things happen? And with relationship masters, like successful couples that have made it, not just the years, because you can make it years and not be happy.
Yeah.
They are saying they're happily married, all right? They blend. So they talk legacy. And so they'll have seasons to where one is just supporting the other, right? Like, Mecca and I have talked like, all right, what are your goals for the new year? And she might say, hey, I'm coming out hard with doing this, this, and this, and this. And I might say, well, I wanted to come out the year doing this, this, and this. And I was talking about traveling and going. Well, who's going to be here for the kids? Right? Who's going to take care of, our parents? Who's going to take them on medical appointments? And so we have to sit and talk. All right, well, let me know what your vision is. All right, you know what? For first quarter, I'm not going to do a lot of traveling. All right, that's totally on you. My wife has a new job. You're building up your territory.
Right.
You're going to have to make it work. Okay, then I'll be home so I can be front and center with the kids. But I need you to do a good job.
Right.
Right. So that April, I can go do what I need to do.
No, that's powerful.
Right.